Alright, this is our last section of grading for the midterm review. So, nope, sorry, wrong numbers. So you should be looking for numbers 50 to 67. And then it should say graded by, and then your name. Right here. Alright, so let's go ahead and go to page, whatever this is on. Number 50 is on, good, whatever the page this is. 9. Alright, find the measure of angle KMN. KMN is the exterior angle, so we're going to add the interior. 99 plus 4x, and they will equal the exterior. I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead and find what x is. X is 8. If you plug that in here, 13 times 8 plus 27 is 131 degrees, which is the answer. This one does require work. It will be -6 for no work, -1 if it is tried but wrong. 51, write a congruent statement. Oh, no, that's not 51. 51, this is a word problem. Let's see if I can give myself some room. Here we go. In a right triangle, so they should have a right triangle drawn. One of the angles is always x. The other one is mentioned here. It is 3 times the sum. 3 times the sum of the measure of the other acute angle and 6. Add your 3 angles up and they equal 180. I'll go ahead and let you know what x is. X is 18. So that's the measure of one of my angles. To find the other, I need to plug in. You're going to add first and then multiply. So you should have 18 and 72. This does require work, so make sure they've got some work. -1 in general if any part of it is wrong. A ramp is designed with the profile of a right triangle. The measure of one angle is 4 times the measure of the other. So you're going to add your 3 angles. 4x plus x equals 90. Sorry, plus 90 equals 180. So it's very interesting because x will still equal 18 in this problem, which means the other angle will be 72. The last one on this page is gone. Where'd it go? Here we are. Write a congruent statement. There's actually a couple. But a congruent statement, you should have a triangle is congruent to a triangle. So let's say we had L first. L corresponds with X. So the next triangle would be named triangle X something. So we could say LMN. Then we'd have to say X, Z, Y. Basically, you just need to check the order. Wherever L is in the lineup, X has to be as well. Wherever M is in the lineup, Z has to be. And the same thing with N and Y. 54. There's no way I'm going to fit this on one page. It says find the value of Y. So these two triangles are congruent because they tell me they are. So if G is x degrees, so is this angle. Then I have 3 angles in a triangle, so I'm going to add up what I have. Subtract from 180, so x equals 67. Alright, and then I have this side, which is congruent to this side. So x minus y equals 10. X minus y equals 10. I know the value of x. X is 67. drop down the minus y equals 10. Subtract 67. Negative 6 equals negative 57. Divide by negative 1 and y equals 57. This does require work, so make sure they've got some. My next problem is simpler. It says find the measure of m. These two triangles go together. This little arc means that the angles are congruent. So that means L is also 50 degrees. Then you have two angles out of three angles in a triangle. Add them up, subtract from 180, which means angle M equals 40. This is an equiangular triangle. All the angles are the 60, so that means all the sides are the same. So x will equal 13. Because one of the sides was 13, all of the sides will be 13. 57. Find the value of x. So we have on the bottom here an equilateral triangle. All of the sides are 5. The other triangle is isosceles, so these two angles are congruent. That means these sides are congruent. So x plus 1 equals 5. X equals 4. Um, 57. Nope, wrong direction. 57. Nope, 58. Wow, guys. Struggle bus, party of one. You're going to add the angles because you have three angles in a triangle. So you're going to add each of them. You're going to add them, you're going to find x. Alright, so x equals 10. Then you're going to plug it back in. That's not my answer. This one will be 26. And this one will be 64. Classify each triangle by its sides and its angles. So this one will be obtuse because of that angle. And then it will be scalene. Oop, that's not how you spell it. Scalene because none of the sides are congruent. None of them. So obtuse is scalene. If any part of that is wrong, it's just 1 point. So just fix it. In one of the acute angles in a right triangle is 35. Find the measure of the other. So add them up, subtract from 180, and you get 55 degrees. '61. This was actually on a quiz way back when. Two sides equal, so you're going to set them equal. Add 0.6. You're also going to subtract x. 2x equals 3.0, which is 3. Divide by 2, and x is 1.5. I know normally I like decimal or fractions, but the problem literally had decimals, so x is 1.5. You'll plug it back in. So R, whatever this is, what is this? RP is 3.9, which means RQ is 3.9. PQ will be 1.6. If any of these answers are wrong, you just -1, mark it wrong, write it in, be a kind person, and write in the correct answer for them. In the diagram of the basketball hoop below, can you use hypotenuse leg congruence theorem to prove that triangle WXY is congruent to WZY? So hypotenuse leg says a hypotenuse is marked congruent on both triangles. The hypotenuse is always across from the right angle. They are not marked congruent, so this would be a no. So again, your hypotenuse would have to be marked congruent for it to be a hypotenuse leg. 63 in the diagram below, can you use the hypotenuse leg theorem to prove that triangle ABD is congruent to CBD? Hypotenuse leg can only be used in a right triangle. Neither of these are right triangles, so this would be a no, once again. 64, are the angles congruent by angle-side angle theorem? Angle-side angle says we have an angle marked congruent to an angle, an included side to an included side, and then an angle to an angle. This would be side, angle, side, so this would be a no. It is not angle, side, angle. It is side, angle, side. 65, determine whether the triangles are congruent. If so, tell me what theorem. We have a right triangle, so anytime you have a right triangle, you need to ask yourself, is this hypotenuse leg? Question mark. The hypotenuse is across from the right angle. They share a hypotenuse, so yes, the hypotenuse is congruent to itself, and then they both have a leg. So this would be, yes, they're congruent, and then they're congruent by hypotenuse leg theorem. '66, we have two triangles. I'll compare the triangle on the left to the triangle on the right. So we have an angle marked congruent to an angle, a side and a side, an angle and an angle. So we need to decide if this is angle, side, angle, or angle, angle, side. They are congruent, and it will be by angle, angle, side, because the side is not between the two angles. So this is angle, angle, side theorem. Can you prove the triangles are congruent? So we'll compare the two triangles. We got an angle marked congruent to an angle to an angle, and also the side they share. So this would be a yes, angle, side, angle theorem. Two more. Maybe not two more. Is that it? Oh, that's it. Okay. So again, it is -1 if they got it wrong, but they tried it. It's -6 if they skipped or showed no work. So make sure you put the grade on the front page.